Okay, so what happened was Lauren, who is Dave's now live-in girlfriend, was working with Riotcast, Bobby Kelly, and Jim Norton's show for a while now. She's been producing for Riotcast, and
that's where we know her from.
Yeah,
doing
it's where I'm at.
I'm gonna get, I know some other stuff now that we've spoken, but I won't even. I'll leave that out. I'm gonna give it from what I saw yesterday, right? So I listened to this because people start tweeting at me, being like Gomez comment, or Puerto Rican rattlesnake comment.
This is a real thing.
I wake up at like 10 o'clock in the morning to this, right? So apparently Lauren, and I had no idea this was even happening. Lauren left Riotcast, and she left Jim Norton's show. She left. She left. And you can get. I mean, I'm sure you can shed a little more light on that, Dave. But she left the show, and apparently, she would, in whatever way it was, Norton wasn't happy about the way she communicated with leaving. She was coy, whatever it was, for whatever reason, right?
All right.
Apparently with him, she didn't communicate the way that he thought was necessary.
Is it a no call?
It was just basically like, yeah, she was with the show for a while, and then all of a sudden she kind of just leaves. Now, on the show, he speculated that he was like, I don't want to think that it was Dave that made her leave the show, something along those lines. So he kind of puts it out there that Dave is this controlling fucking.
So basically, you remember? So you'll know this because we've joked about this before. Remember when Glenn Beck used to be on Fox and he would hide behind questions?
Yeah.
Like he would just be like, "Is Obama a terrorist from Kenya? I don't know."
That's a terrible question.
Norton fucking Becked me. He fucking just went there. He goes, "Is David the reason the destruction of the Chip podcast?" What the fuck? It just goes, I mean, I'd hate for that to be the case.
I would hate for that to be. So
can I tell you that because we had a meeting around maybe I want to say noon, 1 p.m., something like. So I just started getting a lot of tweets about this, and I weirdly started getting things like the thing that I got a lot of is that like you didn't return Norton's text, whatever. Why'd you make Lauren leave? A lot of shit like this, and I just figured it's kind of like just fans being fans. Lauren left. And then Lewis, when I saw him, was like, oh, yeah, I think like Jim said something about it. And I was just, 100% certain. Like, I would have bet money that it was like when he was joking in some way. Like, when he said, like, oh, Dave didn't return my text, I figured it was in the context of like, son of a bitch can't even get a text return from Dave. It's a joke. And I turned it on, and me and Lauren listened to it together last night. He couldn't have been more serious. He was like having an inside the actor studio moment about Chip Chipperson.
Yeah.
Like, Chip was angry that day. I was like, wait, what's going on?
This is it. Pull up actually clip 4.
I just say this.
What you're talking about. Yeah.
Me and Lauren listened to this last night, and I don't want to give the wrong. Look, Lauren's out of this world now. She can give her explanation.
She turned in her gun and her bag.
Like I don't know. I'll give you my perspective since I was kind of inserted into it, but like. I don't want to make this misleading just to say Lauren's not cool with them. Lauren doesn't like Bobby and Jim. I just say that. But me and Lauren listened to this last night.
But you're saying she's not cool with them.
She's not cool. They didn't leave on good terms. So I just say that. If she wants to get into details of it, whatever.
Oh man, dude.
But I would just say me and Lauren did we listened to it together, and we literally grabbed our sides laughing at certain points of this. Like, you even just looking at this on paper
let me pull up some of these clips.
It's really
go to clip number 4.
Hilarious.
Go to clip number 4, talking about how Jim thought it was weird how Dave didn't respond.
It had nothing to do with anything behind the scenes that I know of. And if she was influenced to quit or pressured to quit, I'll never know the true story. But I hope that's not true. I like Dave. I don't want to turn around. And despise him. I really don't.
But that would be the result of that news?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's him.
But I never really encouraged or discouraged anything. I was always kind of like, do what you want to do. I feel like that's kind of my ethic in comedy. Like, you got to be, if you want to do comedy, you got to be convinced you want to do it. I'm not going to convince you to or not. But Lauren, for like her own reasons for months now just didn't want to do this. So she told this is the story, at least from what I understand, and I'm not going to put too much of her shit out there, but she told Bobby, I believe 3 months.
Chip is raping me every day after the show.
Anyway, so whatever. She told Bobby months ago, and Bobby and they can say whatever they want to. Bobby told Lauren not to tell Norton and that he would handle it with Norton. This is the story. You can say that. So she told Bobby. Listen, again, this to me, honestly, all seems like something that should take place over a phone call. But seeing as how it's all being put out there and it's speculated that I convinced, I never, look, Lauren when she wanted to do the show, the first time Lauren said she didn't want to do the podcast with Jim to me, my response was like, think about that before you leave because it's a big show. Like, think about, make that decision. But once she did, and she had some pretty good reasons, I was like, okay. How do you argue with someone going they don't want to do this anymore?
And I know you can't speak for Lauren, and the truth is, like, we spoke about this before, and you almost... The first reaction, we were like, I don't even know what to talk about it because I don't want to give Lauren's business out because she, she's had some like health issues and there's been like,
she has had a lot of health
there's
issues.
Been some shit.
Lauren's like a pretty open chick about this shit.
know.
Lauren's like, she doesn't really give a fuck. Like, Lauren is probably, if not probably the most thick-skinned chick I've ever like known. Like, she doesn't give a fuck. Lauren's like, her family's like crazy. There's like crazy loud and Italian ball-busty family. Yeah. Like, they're not like sensitive. Like, I don't know.
They're really dirty people, aren't they?
It's like
the Italians.
Lauren's thing wasn't that like anything that like a gag or something that was said to her. It's like Lauren has beef with like working for these two guys. It's like a different relationship than you.
Okay. So she tells Bobby, and Bobby told her not to tell Lauren just yet.
This is my understanding of the whole thing: is that Bobby was like, he'll handle it. Yeah. No more or less like he'll handle it. And then it was like, I don't know. It's not like it wasn't known. Now all the other shit, like like you were saying, like she has had some health issues and shit, but that wasn't like. I think there are a few different reasons why she left.
Right.
Can you share those?
I mean, more or less, I would say it's probably like, look, she had her problems working for Bobby and Jim, and she wasn't doing this anymore. I mean, and she's like, Lauren just kind of like, I think with like her health issues and decides, she's just like, I don't really want to do this anymore. I don't want to be in this world.
So she's done being in this world.
She's done doing comedy, doing the
Let
podcast.
me ask you a question, because she quit comedy and she quit Rise. Here's the thing that I got to say, right? Because obviously I always get your back, and we're not in a fucking war with Jim Norton.
This is utterly ridiculous.
I'm friends with Jim Norton. We go on Jim Norton's show all the time. We will continue to do that. Jim will still come on Legion of Skanks.
Kinky.
I have a question for you, and you might not be able to answer this or not, but this is the way that I see it, right? Because I don't think it completely has nothing to do with you. It's nothing to do with your influence about like saying shit. I think you guys just moved in together. I think that she's been doing comedy and kind of like fucking with it for a couple of years, like here and there, kind of dipping her toes in the water. She got very close with you, sees how hard you work, sees how desperately unsuccessful you are. and then she's like, I'm not going to go fucking do that.
She goes, no thanks. Thank you, but no thanks.
Is there something, like, I mean, like...
Well, listen, I guess I can't really completely deny that happened. I mean, that is possible.
But
I don't know.
No, because...
So, oh my God, does Jim Norton despise me? maybe she did. By the way, I thought things were going pretty...
This is kind of a funny part, too.
The text. I should address the text.
The text.
You told me about that, and I did hear, and listen, Jim is right about that. He did text me,
and you didn't text him back?
And I didn't text him back. But look, I don't know what to say. I guess that one's my bad, but I don't have Jim Norton's number in my phone, and literally Lewis told me this today, and I just searched my text messages and like... He did text me, but it's like, dude, I'm not friends with Norton like that. I don't have his number in my phone. I don't have it saved. He texted me. I'm not even making. I'll show you the fucking text. He didn't even text me like, hey, it's Jim Norton, like blah blah blah. He texted me a text. I just got a text from a number, and then after it, but with no name attached. Just to like, hey, dude, what's going on with Lauren type thing. And then after it, a text that said, it's Jim. And it just, I don't know. It's literally the day it happened. The reason why Lauren wasn't responding, and she had told him she was sick. They were in a thing, and then she like stopped responding to him that day. It's because she went to the hospital that day. Like, not to give out too much shit, but it's like, I didn't get back to Jim's text the day my girlfriend was in the
shit out of her.
Yeah, she was fucking still doing the Chip podcast. And that's that. I guess I will. I guess that is kind of on me. But like, it's not like. He was like, oh, what's up with Lauren? She was sick. And then they talked the next day, and Lauren, like, explained to him that she was sick. Like, I just don't see why it would be such a mystery as to, like,
you're
why
saying
why I didn't get back to you the day, whatever.
Just to get the timeline, though, he said that text, that you didn't return his text after Lauren had spoken to him about, so what you're saying.
So they were talking. And she was like sick, and she was like, "I'm not going to be able to podcast this week because I'm sick."
Yeah.
Like that, and then she kind of like got.
He's
worse.
like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "I fell down the stairs."
Yeah. She was, we weren't sure if we were going to go to the hospital, and she was going to keep whining. Yeah. I thought maybe I could get some sleep, but then we realized it was kind of like bad, so we had to go. And I guess at some point he was like texting with her, and she stopped responding. So he was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I heard she was sick, and then stopped responding. So I guess he texted me. But I literally didn't realize this until Lewis told me.
But I'm saying when he said that on Jim and Sam. Was that after he spoke to Lauren?
Yeah, way
Okay,
after all this shit. Yeah. They've spoken like many times since then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so they've spoken like this.
Spoken, text,
The way
communicated in
that
lots of
it
different
sounded
ways.
like from Jim's thing was that like she's been MIA for weeks. He doesn't know what's going on.
That is, I mean,
she's
look,
giving him the cold
That
shoulder.
is not at all, and I don't know. I don't exactly remember. I don't even think Jim said that in the thing, but that is not at all the story. And that's just. I know for a fact it's not the story. I live with the.
There was.
like,
Can
I don't know.
I do the fucking things and like it? I mean, look. Here's the thing. This is the point that we're going to make about Lauren, right? Because Lauren does have a thick skin, and I fucked with Lauren a lot on YKWd in particular.
I remember that.
Lauren does, and she does get a lot of love too. I think what Jim loses sight of is that since he's literally famous, I mean, he's got 500,000 Twitter followers, and he's in this world where like the past 20 years has been this for him. Like every day he deals with this on a much higher level.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets the levity to just a normal chick. It does wear on you. For people to attack the way you look day in, day out, it does. And for a young comic who, you know, you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like Lauren was. She was never like in comedy the same way that like, you know, some of the
You're
other
a
people
weekend
are.
warrior.
Yeah, exactly. You start to go like, is the long hours worth it? Is working for not that much money worth it?
This was I can tell you like much more about it. That I
Right.
mean, literally, it's like it's a lot. People just flat out, and this is what I don't get. This is what's crazy to me, right? And this is why I was really surprised that Jim wanted to like publicly have what seemed like a private phone call conversation. It's like he's sitting there and going like, "Well, everything was cool, and Lauren wasn't upset at all." It's like, well, Jim, like obviously not. Like, obviously not.
Yeah.
So why would you want... And then, like, talk to your boy Bobby. Months ago, she quit. Like, this isn't a new thing. So it's like, you're putting it out there like, okay, so obviously you were misreading her a little bit.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't wanted to do this for months now. Now, it was a lot more... And if you just know the job, you go, look, if someone has to work, like, two shows, producing both shows, working what is like a part-time job, like a complete part-time job for $200 a month. Like, why is it shocking to you that they're like,